called like Yahweh Bashem Yahushai Bashem Krakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone over well. I am not a member, however, I've entered into their labors. Peace and mercy to the sincere brothers and sisters, students, wherever you are, whatever your life may be. This is quite an old article, oldie but a goodie, and really, this is just another MOTV video. Since we are so close, I would be remiss if I did not continuously bring this up. But what I'm about to say, the parallels that I'm going to draw and the conclusion that we're going to come to is admittedly, speculation, mere conjecture. However, pattern recognition is not a difficult thing. It's not it's not very hard. It's not a very hard task to grasp, right, or concept to grasp. And since, this devil is lazy, they will copy and paste, and pretty much, like if they wrote an essay, we'll put it like this: if they wrote an essay, they would copy and paste it and just change the name. Copy and paste from one thing, change the name, and have it fit. So usually what we have as far as pattern recognition, let's go to slavery. They abolished it, right? But it was legal by way of prison, right? If you were incarcerated for any reason, then slavery was legal, right? The 13th Amendment. And what they do, they've created the solution, right? So now they need to manufacture a problem. Manufacturing problem is causing disruptions in black and brown neighborhoods, so-called black and brown neighborhoods, removing funding, redlining, and adding churches and liquor stores, and inserting the CRACK and the guns, right? And heavily manipulating to where people are driven to crime. And if people are driven to crime, you can go in and arrest them. They're convicted of said crime, and now they go to jail. Now what do you have, right? So they manufacture the issue. So there's one parallel. You manufacture an issue because you already have the solution, right? And not only that, they will also, here's another pattern to look into. The other pattern is convenient and safe, right? This is for your convenience. This is for your safe. This is to help you. This is to make things better. There's your other one, all right? So everything that we say here are hinged upon those two patterns. And you'll see here as we read through this article, right? But before we do, let's go ahead and just get our Revelation 13, 13 and 16. Because make no mistake about it, we are here. And very soon, very shortly, this will be, well, first it'll be rolled out as convenient and popular. And then it will be incentivized, and then it will be forced. All right. Revelation 13:16, he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that have, or that had, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666. And I've talked about, the symbology or symbolism of it being in the forehead, where your prefrontal cortex is. Your decision making, your personality, right? The things that make you you are right there. So deal with that information what you will, okay? Because taking that means you have now bowed down to an idol, but this time the idol was was able to speak. Dang it, let me get that too. Dang it, how does it go? Power to give life unto the beast. Is that 7? Let me see. Yeah, also him. That's what he's doing. Peace from the earth. Yeah, there you go. Oh, hell. Goodness gracious. It's right there. It right here. Yeah. Because in times past these were stone, wood, and stone, and things of that nature. But this, right, as you can see, the end result: merging man with machine, and this AI becoming a god and an idol. They already got an AI white Jeebus. It's only a matter of time before they have a white or AI Muhammad and whatever, what have you. And you see where this is going. I don't have to go into that. This is not really what this is about. This is just to get a uh, um, kind of all-encompassing thing here. That isn't the focus. The focus is the articles and the parallels that we have drawn in the beginning, if you remember, right? So let me just go ahead and read 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Now, when you go into killed, it doesn't always necessarily mean a physical um, cancel subscription to earthly this earthly experience that we all just absolutely love so much, but it could be just cut off from society, removed, right?
Strong's G 615. Strong's G. Apartina.
Alright, kill in any way whatsoever, to destroy, to allow to perish, metaphor, extinguish, abolish, to inflict mortal death, deprive spiritual life. Okay, so that's what it's saying, but you also understand that you will just be excluded from society. That is also something that you include into this as well. Okay, so we got that. Now, when I typed this in the URL, I typed in how this was the prompt here. This was my prompt, and there were many different things I went to, but the two that honed in on was this one, and also Army, so DoD, Department of Defense. Especially because there's not that much of a difference between being. Well, let me rephrase that before I speak. As far as rights go, there's not that much difference in being an armed service member, and a prisoner, and it is only in the way of rights. Well, how you are not your own, you do not make your own decisions. You go where you're told, when you're told. Okay, and there are even places when you say you PCS somewhere, or you get a change of duty station, you go to another city. There's a list of places they tell you to stay away from. You are not allowed to go there, and if you do go there, you will be prosecuted. There's a different thing. Okay, so when I say prisoners and armed forces, I'm only talking in the way of freedom of movement, right? Liberty. That's it. Hell, but sexual assault is pretty high amongst males in the military as well. Anyway, that ain't the point here. But I want you to see this. Okay, they are related. All right, revolutionize the Army by boosting soldier safety. It's always been readiness and mission effectiveness. The real-time health monitoring, detecting injury, illness early, instant personnel data access, right? Medical history contacts, and enhanced situational awareness, right? So, but this is also this is the article that this is this one, same thing, right? So we really don't need that. Okay, save lives. Are you seeing the pattern here? All about convenience, right? And to the layman who doesn't understand, then yeah, this would be an excellent idea to mitigate um, escapees. I was living in Arizona, and I didn't live very far from a prison, and I think that there were in my 7-8 years living there, I think there were about 4 escapes. So to the layman, that they want to appeal to that, like, oh, that's an excellent idea, especially if it's for the prisoners, not knowing, fool, you are a prisoner. We are all prisoners in our own right in this place, right? Some of us have physical bars that we are locked behind, and others are contractual. But again, that is not to um, minimize how terrible prison actually is. All right, we don't want to do that. All right, this article is based on research conducted as a part of the CA Post Command College. It is they are very particular with their wording here. It is a future study of a particular emerging issue of relevance to law enforcement. Its purpose is not to predict the future, rather to project a variety of possible scenarios useful for planning and action in anticipation of the emerging landscape facing policing organizations. Now, why do you feel the need? It's like when you tell a little kid, when you can catch a little kid up in a lie, and you ask them something, and they, I don't remember the term, but they kind of just say it out. So their goal is to get you to not think about the thing that they're lying about. The same way that bill that we went over, where the anti-immunization, right? Simonism, right? That bill, and in its very in the summary at the top, in the first sentence, it's like, this is not going to impede on freedom of speech. Why would you even need to say that if it wasn't, right? And this is the same thing you get here, because they are predicting the future, right? They have to put that out there. They have to let you. They got to tell you. Now, whether you believe it or not is up to you. Anyway, this article was created using futures forecasting process. All right. Blah 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 blah. So here's the point here. Key takeaways. Prevent prison escapes in real time, right? Because you get the alerts, you get the track, but you understand, the minute you give up a little bit, they take it all. You give a nigga this red horse that's power to give him peace, take peace from the earth. He is a nigga, and if you give a nigga an inch, a nigga will take a mile. All right, understand that. What other parallel can we draw from this? Dang, what is that? What is that bill? Oh, what is it? Act. Patriot Act, right. How much did you lose? Or how much privacy and autonomy did you lose with the Patriot Act? And, allegedly, let's say an entity did want to have some sort of FALSE, and they did that, then it doesn't mean that actual people don't get hurt, but they drum up an issue and get the people riled up, and then when the people are riled up, they'll sign off on anything. Yes, go ahead and draft this bill, draft this act, okay, and sign it into law so we can be safe. Whole time the predator is in your house. The predator is within close proximity to you, and you don't even know it, because he's the one feigning as a sheep, feigning protection and safety. The very wolf that wants to eat the sheep is the one writing up laws in order to constrain the sheep so the sheep can be eaten. Very, very interesting concept that we have. Biometric monitoring improves the inmate medical response, right? Automated inmate tracking, we did that, okay? That falls in line with the escape thing here, or keeping them out of unauthorized areas. And very soon it will be able to keep the regular civilians out of unauthorized areas, and that can just be an area that they deem at any given moment, right? They just have to drum up an issue and then write it into law. Why? For your safety. This is for your convenience. We're here to help. We want to make things better for you. Alright, well, what's the scripture that comes to mind? A man shall desire to go into a city and not be able. Now, that could be any different, a myriad of things. It could be martial law, but it could also be because there are, that little injectable for the detectable that can triangulate a location. It may shut off your motor skills, or it could be anything. You go somewhere you're not supposed to go. You're outside of your 15 minutes, however long it takes you to travel 15 minutes. You're outside of that cordon that they've set for you, and who knows what could happen. All right, security and privacy must be balanced in prison technology upgrades. Implementing trends, right? That thing requires strict data encryption, limited access, and clear policies to protect inmate privacy and comply with legal standards. But if there's an accident, then it's not like somebody didn't comply; it was out of their control, right? We didn't cause a breach; somebody breached. So we're going to need to fine tune your injectable for the detectable. So no longer, you know, we'll write a law that passes that we will program the injectable for the detectable, that as soon as I don't know, a heart rate raises, or as soon as you go somewhere where that, you know, they don't want you to go, like I said, you give them a little bit and they take a lot of it. Okay, we must modernize, right? So modernization, security, safety, medical, right? And then when you read this, it's the same thing. All right, real-time health monitoring, detecting injury, especially I guess that would be on the battlefield, but in reality, only a very, very small percentage, and we're like less than 10%, are like daily looking at being on the battlefield, right? Um, and especially now, this third world will not be, its main function won't be hand to hand, or you know how it was, or the second world. This is about missiles. This is about arrows. Okay, so key revolutionary impacts, continuous monitoring. Okay, faster treatment. This is for convenience. This is for your safety. This is, you see, automated admin, automatically update personnel records. And if um, you've been in the military, you know you have to keep paper copies of all your records, because it depends on somebody. It's somebody's job to do something in there, and most people are lazy. All right, so they want to eliminate the the uh, the personnel factor of it, and it's all automated, right? Situational awareness and command, data-driven intelligence, right? So they can capture all of that and make your war fighters better. Again, but the same challenges are ethics and privacy, okay? But there's an easy way around it, right? Just drum up a situation, and then, uh, you know, draft an act that should be written into law. Super easy, okay? Um, now, I would not be surprised, especially with the medical thing, um, because, you know, there's a certain group of people, they, I think it recently just happened somewhere in some place called Australia. I don't know, some mythical. I'm not sure. I think it's called that. Allegedly, there was an act, and the story was very sloppy, by the way, and you know, it was a mass SHOOTING, but that ended up being in, you know, an inside. The same people who were playing victim were the ones who initiated, who orchestrated, right? So I would not be surprised on the medical front if they were causing, if in the near future, you know, they were causing more and more people to get things like cancer or V8X thing, right? Related injuries that come up. Um, Also, outright just causing harm, outright hurting people. Maybe there's a rise in random acts of violence. But never fear, because all you need is this thing here, right? Revelation 13:16. We can make all of these issues go away. Isn't this a wicked world we live in? But we have the answer. We have the solution. Slippery slope for a forked-tongued devil, right? Very, very slick. And because he was able to go out and to deceive the nations, right? Although this little season is coming to an end very, very swiftly, and good grief, call lawyer how about me outside for it. He still got a little bit of time, right? So if you go to Revelation 20:7, it says when the 1,000 years were expired, Satan, right, or red horse, or red dragon, or Cain, or same, shall be loosed out of his prison and shall go out to deceive the nations. And he is still in his period of deception, this little season. But like I said, the Lord is drawing that to a close The curses of Deuteronomy that were on us are being transferred. So there's really not much left but for him to come down with great wrath. So with that being said, if you are having doubt, if you are weak in the faith, pray, fast, do what you need to do. Continue to spend as much time in the Spirit as you can. Read, watch the videos. If I didn't say repent, repent, and can keep pushing. Keep your head down. Keep your hands on the plow. Occupy until he comes. And I am, of course, speaking to self first, because it's easy to say what you will and won't do from the safety of your home under this guise of what some would call freedom. But when the illusion is truly up, all right, and that fear sets in, you need to be prepared, all right? You need to be meditating on that. Not meditating on being fearful, but meditating on, how you respond to the flesh. So with that being said, shalom.